Hello, my name is David Aiken, your conversion rate optimization specialist. Thank you so much for the opportunity to review Cove. What we're going to do is we're going to go from the top to the bottom of each of the pages you requested, and I will be providing you feedback on how to increase your conversions. Now, don't worry about trying to keep notes. What you will notice is that I have included a document that's full of bullet points. This is meant to serve as sort of a guide, but more of a checklist so that you know that you've hit each and everything. This video is intended to go into more detail, explain why things work the way they work, and show you examples of some of the things I'm suggesting so you have a good idea of what they should look like as well. All right, let's go ahead and get started with your hero shot. That is this row we're looking at right here. It's this row's job to help your customers quickly understand what you do, why they do it with you, and what they should do next, or in this case, what you sell, why they should buy it from you, and what those next steps should be. Okay. There are two ways that your visitors are going to interact with this screen depending on their age. Older people like me, I'm nearly 50 now, they're going to use the F pattern. Both start by looking up here in the upper left-hand corner, by the way, because that's how we've taught to read. So we'll want to bump our logo over a little. But your older visitors are going to go across the top, down to the next line, and then across because um, they've been raised reading media line by line. So newspapers, magazines, letters, memos, whatever it is, their habit is line by line by line. Okay. Younger people, millennials and younger, who had the internet as the major type of media in their life, they're used to these large block of content. So they go across the top, down at an angle, and back across, right? The reason this is important to understand is to better understand why I'm going to recommend what I'm about to recommend. Okay. I want you to move your logo over here to the left, like I said. Um, Leave about the amount of space that a margin would take on a lined sheet of paper. Okay. Bump your navigation up and over here to the right hand side and keep your top bar, but make your top bar a bright color instead of black. Remember, black is design elements. Any call to action we have, we want to be a bright color. We're going to avoid red just because red can sometimes be looked at as a negative color. Okay, let me just show you how this is supposed to work. Let's get up here to the top of this example. So logo, left-hand corner, navigation, right-hand side. Both the F and the Z, remember, go across here. With the invention of screen recording software, which I think you either had Hotjar or Lucky Orange, or maybe it was even Crazy Egg on your side. I don't recall which one. Um, we were able to find out that if we make our top bar a bright color, we can bend this journey from going straight across to coming up, reading our message, and coming back down. Okay. Right now, you're promoting the free sticker pack. Not sure that that's quite enough to incentivize people to make their first purchase, especially on $55 plus. I know there's some expense here, but we really do need to incentivize them to make that first purchase so that we can get them to be um, long-term customers. So I'd recommend coming up with a first-time buyer's discount. Remember, a good offer has a reason, a compelling incentive, and an expiration date. In order to the expiration date legitimizes the offer and creates urgency. Okay. Now I'm going to give you ideas of what you can say throughout the site, but understand I'm not a content writer. I've never claimed and never will claim to be a content writer. But I would put something up here like new spring styles, comma, first time buyer save 10% through March 30th, or whatever that percentage and date turns out to be. It is okay to keep your margins in line and raise your prices by 10% in order to discount them by 10 or 20% or whatever you do. Okay. Happens every day in e-commerce. So for your header, move your logo over about 2 inches to about here. Move your navigation up and over here and leave the space in between negative or empty. That's what allows us to pull their attention up. as we're coming down and across, either remember with the Z or the F, we've now got to engage them with who we are and what we do and what they're going to find on the page. While the image of the guy with the surfboard looks nice and the background's beautiful, it doesn't represent your brand. He's not wearing your clothes. So at least I don't think he is. I don't know if this is a sweatsuit, but or a wetsuit, but I'm not sure that you sell those. So it would be far better off to have somebody over here in a lifestyle shot, like well, I guess that's just that one image, like your image here, wearing your gear. Have him here, even with the back like it is, and then your content or your messaging over here. Okay, but we need them to interact with your product line as quickly as possible. I gave you a link to a really good article in the document on how to do lifestyle product photography for e-commerce. It's by Fuse Branding, so you may want to take a quick look at that. Okay. Then over here, remember we read left to right, so we put our content first. We're going to put a super headline, a headline, and a sub headline. Let me show you what those look like. Of course, yours will be a very different style than this. A super headline has little bursts of information with a line between them. A headline is larger font and usually fancy font, and then your subheadline is so smaller font again. For your super headline, I pulled some features from your product page, and I would say ultra soft, premium quality, pre-shrunk. Okay, three things they're going to want to know. Then in our headline, we're going to say look good and feel good dash sustainable style that keeps you looking fresh or something like that. Remember, I'm not a content writer. And then for our sub headline, it's to support our headline messaging. And we're going to say something along the lines of you help pull 1 pound of trash out of the ocean with each item you purchase. Okay. In your requirements, you mentioned, I'm not sure if we're leveraging the relationship with 4Ocean enough, and I'd say you're absolutely not. Um, Being socially responsible is getting to be a major component of, um, of conversion rate optimization. So we're going to mention it a few times. Then I want a call to action button. We don't use white or black for our call to action buttons. They are, excuse me, just noticed that. Okay, cool. Actually, I really like this page. I'm not sure why these aren't filling out. I just barely noticed that little view collections. That's why you don't use those colors for. That's why you don't use those colors for call to action buttons, because they're easily missed. And I swear I've looked at your page 50 times and just noticed it. So we're going to say shop and save, and then we're just going to have that button take them to the collections page that you have here. But I would finish it out. If you don't, I know you have some accessories, or at least you have accessories in your main call. Just check that out. Yeah. I would fix that page and make that work, because it's an effective way to do it. So that's going to go to your collection page. All right. So we got a bright colored button. So we've told them the super headline, which is features of the clothing. We've told them about our clothing. We've told them about the save a pound, or clear a pound of garbage out of the ocean with each purchase. All of that content's been delivered really quickly and easily. We then want to utilize this space down here to deliver some key pieces of information. Okay. So always keep our call to action buttons above the fold. That's this bottom place. So they're going to fall more up here. I think we're trying to avoid the surfboard, but our messaging and our calls to actions are more important than the background image. Okay. All right, let's talk about our credibility builders and how those should look. As we start to get them engaged now, we've told them a lot about us. Now we want to give them some good reasons to buy or how they can feel good about buying from us. And we're going to utilize icons and short descriptions to do that. The relationship between icon and short description or picture and text is well established. And it was all found out early on with early advertising. So we're talking early magazines and newspapers. If you were to open up an article in an early magazine, you'd have a much different experience than you do today. Um, you're just going to see these paragraphs of written text. They felt like, excuse my dog, they felt like their customers were paying to read that written text. And so that's what they were going to do. They were going to stuff every word they could on a page. Okay. Um, but what they found is they had success getting people to subscribe, but people weren't reading the articles, so they ended up canceling, causing a high churn rate, which is just a fancy way of saying cancellation rate. So they started to run experiments. Experiments today are called split testing, A/B testing, or multivariate testing, but the concept's pretty easy to understand. This is a real experiment the magazines ran, but with fake numbers. So they decided to, like I said, run this experiment. They sent out 1,000 magazines in their current format, which is just paragraph text. They then sent out 1,000 magazines in a new format, which was paragraph text plus a relevant picture. They then polled their customers. And what they learned is those customers that received the version with the picture had a much higher read rate, or they were much more likely to have read that article than those that didn't. And it makes sense as people, our attention is drawn to an article, or to an image, I should say, like a magnet. We just we pay close attention to them. We also absorb information from an image at a much greater rate than we do written text. So what would happen is people would open up to the article, they'd see the image. That image created more interest in the article, which increased the read rate, or they were more likely to have read it. Reading the article increased the value of that magazine to the visitor, making them not cancel or reducing churn rate. So magazines stayed in business. Pretty soon, everybody's following suit. There are all the other magazines, newspapers, and even today, if you open up to an article, you're going to see a picture there. I'm also willing to bet you're going to look at that picture before you read the article. It's just how we're wired. So that's a lot of explanation to tell you that the very most read type of content is an icon with a short description. This serves as the picture, this serves as the caption. Okay. The second most likely to be read content is a headline and bullet points. And the least likely to be read is paragraph text. So we want to avoid that except for certain circumstances. So across this valuable piece of real estate, this site's not falling quite properly, but it really should fall just above the fold like this. We're going to use our 5-star rating, so 4.8 or whatever it is stars, and then just put, Google and Facebook or wherever their sources are. Easy returns. You say you accept them, just do a little circle with some arrows in it, easy returns, and then safe and secure checkout. Okay. From there, we want our category row before our review, so bump this up. This is the first part of our funnel. So if I'm here because I'm looking for a hoodie, I want them in looking at my hoodies as quickly as possible, or t-shirts or accessories, whichever's true. So move that up. And then below it, we want a product row. This is a product row, okay? We want to take one of those product rows for each of these categories, so that if I don't bite here, if I don't click on one of these, I'm then going to have t-shirts, hoodies, and accessories put in front of me as I scroll down, okay? Always have at least one item on sale, which you do, but your sale should really be a bright colored banner. So a burnt orange, a blue, something that makes it stand out. especially since we've got black on all our shirts. We're losing it there. Move your 5-star ratings if you can below the price. Put your original price in light gray with the slash through it, and your sell price in black. Okay. I would warn you against using black, 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 black. It starts to make nothing stand out. You don't have to go obnoxious gold with your 5 stars. You can do just a light colored gray, but we don't want them stealing attention away from our pricing, because our pricing is fair and accurate. Okay, so we're going to have one of those. Mark one of these shirts as limited availability or selling out soon. Remember, this is on the home page. Okay, so we've got a row that looks like this: limited availability or selling out soon. This one's on sale. Our 5 stars are moved below, and we've got our pricing in light gray with the slash through it for original price, and black for the sell price. Okay, so we're going to do 3 rows of products: one for shirts, one for hoodies, one for accessories. From there, I'd like your testimonials and reviews to come into play. Um, it's really important for us to make sure our customers know that other customers love them. It's called social proof. So is your 5-star rating. Um, any recognizable logos you can come up with. Basically, here's what's happened. If you were marketing to people in my age group or 15 years ago, I would be telling you, don't worry too much about this. It has a minor but not real effect. That has changed dramatically. And here's why. People my age were taught to trust marketing messaging. If you were to say, we're going to clean up a pound of trash for every item you buy, we're going to buy a bunch of items because we're thinking how sweet it is. We just pulled 10 pounds of trash out of the ocean. Um, your younger customers, which is probably the main customer base you have, they need more backup to it than that. People like me, older people, have been taught to trust marketing messaging, whether it be in newspapers, magazines, on a website, whatever. We tend to believe it. It's why magazines were able to sell so many X-ray glasses to young men in the past. Call it naive, call it gullible, whatever. It's just how we were raised. You get into the millennial age, and they were raised in a much different world. Marketing messaging, at best, has been stretching the truth. More often than not, it's downright deceptive. Um, Heck, they can't even believe the news anymore. So younger people tend to look for third-party verification, or what we now call social proof. Okay, that's where Four Oceans comes in and making a bigger deal about it. It's where your reviews and testimonials come in, but we don't just want one there. We want several there. The 5-star reviews on your homepage acts as social proof. I really recommend you get more active on social media, and then pull your social media posts into your homepage at the bottom, um, right across here. You'll need to get some more posts on there, but especially, oh, I didn't look at Instagram. Let me take a quick peek. This is better. There are plugins for Instagram to pull these posts into your onto your homepage. It's another form of social proof. So I was looking at Facebook and did not see as much there, but it's stronger than I remember. All right, so pull your social proof down here. I'll give you a link to a tool that'll help you do that. Okay. After your product rows, before your social proof rows, and after your testimonial row, I want to see a row dedicated to your Four Oceans collaboration. Okay. I'd like to see their logo if they'll allow you to use it. And then your headline can be our 1 pound promise. Um, then your content can say something along the lines of Four Oceans professional full-time captains and crew pull 1 pound of trash from the ocean, rivers, and coastlines for every product sold. Okay, that was taken from their website. You can also see if it's okay for you to use their to date numbers, which is to date, Four Oceans has pulled 22,482,148 pounds of trash from the ocean. Do your part and look great too. Okay, so there's a couple content ideas for you. Then again, the images would be really great to have Four Oceans logo, or even what a pound of ocean trash looks like, so they can kind of get an idea of what that could look like. Okay. Before we hit your footer, I then want you to add a final call to action, which is going to restate your super headline, your sub headline, your credibility builders, and your call to action button. Okay. So what have we done? Well, they landed on the site, they see your advertising, they know where you go. As they're taking that natural journey across the top, their attention's being pulled up and they're being made aware of a spring fashion sale. I'm a first time buyer, so I'll save a bit if I order by this date. As they're coming back down, either in the F or the Z pattern, they're being told that the items are ultra soft, premium quality, and pre shrunk. They've then got a headline saying something along the lines of look good and feel good dash sustainable style that keeps you looking fresh. Like I said, I'm not a content writer. Below that, we're telling them you help pull 1 pound of trash out of the ocean with each item you purchase. Then we've got shop and save, then our credibility builders, which are going to be our 5-star rating, easy returns, and safe and secure checkout. I've learned all that and I've read very little. As I come down, I see the different type of product lines I can engage with. And then I'm actually seeing the products. I'm seeing t-shirts. I'm seeing a row of hoodies. I'm seeing a row of accessories. Of course, under each row, there's a little see more or view collection that takes me into the shirts. After that, I'm delivering the testimonials, then the Four Oceans collaboration, which helps me feel good about purchasing from you. Finally, your social media integration, then your footer. Okay. It's going to make your homepage a lot more informative. It's going to help keep their eyes on your products, which is our biggest goal, and help them feel good about purchasing from you. All that are components of getting someone to buy from you. Okay. Um, your collection page, this is where the shop and save button would go to. Just finish this. If we don't have crew necks and long sleeves, just get your accessories in here and add them, and you'll be in good shape there. Okay. If you can't make this work for some reason, take this button off the home page. Anytime we view items that are broken, it causes concern. Okay. Let's go to your collection page. Again, always keep one item on sale. Make that sell button or that sell banner a bright contrasting color, light blues, burnt oranges, etc. And then the same changes we talked about on the home page. Lighten the darkness of these, stick them under, make your original price black with a slash through, or excuse me, light gray with a slash through it, sells price black. Okay. Mark a couple items as limited availability and a couple items as selling out soon. That plays on the fear of loss of opportunity. If I'm sitting here going, I really like that shirt, and I see that it is selling out soon or has limited availability, I know that I need to buy it quickly in order to um, get my shirt. Okay. Product page, beautiful imagery, good job. Our title's in the right place. Our 5 stars should be technically below, and this should be light gray with a slash through it, and your actual sell price should be dark. Put your credibility builders right across here, so your 5-star rating, easy returns, and safe and secure checkout, and put the credit card types you accept just below these 3 icons, which are all great. See if you have those at the bottom. Yeah. So just pull the 4 or 5 most common. So you're talking Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. Put those right below here so that as I'm looking to purchase, I am reminded of the credibility builders and that you take the type of credit card I accept. Okay. Um, in your content, you've done the best thing you can as far as bullet points instead of paragraph text. So good job there. Um, you may use this space if you can get the template to allow you to remind them that if they buy this t-shirt, they're going to be getting a pound of trash out of the ocean. Let's go into our shopping cart. which I was really happy to see this interaction. It's obvious what I do next. Um, and I was happy to see that this is a distraction free checkout, meaning all of my navigation has disappeared at this point, which is what we want. We want them kind of focused on our funnel. Um, I was bummed to see that it's their 4-step checkout process. It's estimated that between 1 and 2 and 10, so 10 to 20% of your visitors who abandon cart do so because of the multi-step checkout. So I recommend turning this into a single page checkout, which basically just adds a couple check boxes and your credit card information here, so that when they're clicking this button, they're actually paying you, not going on to shipping and then on to um, payment and whatnot. Okay. Well worth the investment. Now, this is not something you can normally do on your own. And I can't help you since my last stroke. As you've seen, sometimes my words don't come out right, but more importantly, my hands don't work like they used to. You're going to likely see some typos in the document. I apologize for that. Um, all that being said, I have been working with a gentleman in Toronto named Rick who has learned how to handle every single piece of advice I give. So if you need some help and don't want to do it yourself or can't do it yourself, reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with him. Okay. I would also put a light gray background or a colored background behind your form fields, so that they stand out better. And if you don't have abandoned cart software, especially if you can't move away from the multi step, then you need to get it put on your site. There's two types. There's the older fashioned kind that a lot of people have because Shopify does a good job of promoting it, and it sends an email out um, to your visitors. The problem is that just gets lost in spam. I've given you a link to the newer version, which actually sends a text to them saying, "Hey, did you forget something? Um, I'll give you an extra 5% off if you come back and finish your purchase and whatnot." So check it out. It's very effective at getting people back into your funnel. The final thing I did is I went and checked the speed of your site and was very happy with the numbers we're seeing. Um, Under half a second in, we're getting your images. Everything's good. There's no need for changes. I do recommend that once you make all the changes, you come run the site through GT Metrics again or Google PageSpeed Insights. They all use Lighthouse, the same source. But this basically shows you what your website, how your website performs to somebody who's brand new to it. Um, if you've already been to your site, it's always going to look like it loads faster because of caching. So stay on top of speeds. It's the number one reason for bounce rates. Um, and we do not want people to bounce. That's people who leave in the first few seconds before they uh, before they even have a chance to interact with your messaging or your products. So good job here. If you have any questions for me, please reach out through Fiverr. I'm happy to hop on a call and answer them. They just ask us to communicate that way. So I like to honor that request. I think you're situated for great things. We just need to introduce them in a little bit of a different way. As far as your ads go, I actually really enjoyed them. I think keeping the four oceans um, relationship and making sure that that's known from our ad right through our landing pages and our website is important. So keep that in mind as you're producing ads in the future. All right, great. Thank you. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'll be standing by.